Hello everybody and welcome to our Saturday afternoon live. Obviously afternoon here in the UK, I'm not sure, probably morning where you're watching from. Thanks everybody for waiting for me. I think we're pretty much on time today, which is good. So I'm back on the trail of, I'm tempted to say the lonesome pine. You've got to be a certain age to understand that one. Back on the trail of the file folders, and as you know, of this particular style, Lynn Whitman sent me 6. Just one's as beautiful as the last one, you know, they're all gorgeous, but I've selected this one to be our next up. The lavender and lilac one I put up for sale, and it didn't really last 5 minutes, to be honest with you. So I'm very, very grateful to the person that bought that. I hope that she gets many hours of enjoyment over looking at it, using it, whatever. I certainly had immense fun making it, and I hope that she has, similar in owning it. I will say one thing to you, and I'm really sorry to have to say this, but the next one of these, this one that I put up, will have to be a bit more, because when we worked it out with Etsy fees and PayPal fees and currency conversion fees and VAT fees, you name it, it actually ended up that we hadn't made any profit. And as you know, all the profit goes into helping to make these lives, etc. So I'm just going to have to put it up a little bit, I'm afraid, for next time. I hope you understand. It's not me being greedy. I'm not a greedy sort of person. But, you know, we do want to get some money back into the coffers, not just replace the money that we've used. So I hope you understand that. Right, today, well, I'll just show you briefly what I've done so far, and I haven't done a lot, so it won't take long. This is the cover. It's beautiful. These are the papers that I've chosen. They're by Calico Collage, and they're called Floral Shabby, or Shabby Floral, possibly. And they are absolutely right up my street. They really are. I mean, everybody that knows or has watched even one of my videos will know that I love stripes. I love ticking, I love stripes, I love all that sort of thing. And I love flowers. So when you join the two together, it's kind of, yeah, that's mine. So I've started by putting the lace trim down the sides of the design sheets as I did last time. This time I've gone for cream because it's more of a sort of, I don't know, I think it just suits cream better. Look at that for a page. Stripey. Oh, that's the one. And then this page here, it is similar to one that I did in the other journal, obviously just different papers. And I've used a piece of My Porch Prints ticking on the back there, just to give it some substance, really. And that's My Porch Prints, this guest check here. Some lace, a dimensional butterfly with some bling. That goes into there. And then behind there, we've got a journaling card. And there we are. And this has got one of those lovely whale tail tags. Hilda bought me my tab machine. Look at it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's fantastic. I love it. So it's never very far away. It doesn't even get put in a drawer. It's always handy. But have a look at this, guys. Here's the little dragonfly charm hanging off it. But look what it's hanging off. It's hanging off the world's tiniest bulldog clip. I mean, it's ridiculously small. It's another one of those things you've got to laugh at because it's just, I can't remember where are they? Oh no, I've lost the pack with them in now. Where on earth are they? I've had them in my hand most of the morning looking at them, and now they've disappeared on me. Oh, right on top. Nothing's ever right on top here. So La Jean sent me these because she didn't want to be outdone by a giant pink paper clip, and so she sent me this pack of these Tim Holtz tiny clips, and they absolutely are tiny. They're gorgeous. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed looking at them and laughing at them, and so now I've found a use for one of them, which I think is a good use actually. Just hangs nicely on there, and we've got that charm on there. So yeah, they're great. Thank you so much for sending me those. Fun in an envelope. So that's that page, and then on the back of there we've got one of these tummy tucks again with an envelope in, and look what I've got it held with. So I've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous, or the ridiculous to the ridiculous, whichever way you want to look at it. I love that pink paper clip that Flo sent me so much that I just had to buy some. This is a pack that came in. I think there's 40 different colours. I don't really know how useful these colours are to me, to be honest, but I just love them, so I've got them. And I have used a green one here to hold this envelope into this tummy tuck. I mean, look at it. When you consider it, when you take into account that compared to these, it's really funny. Anyway, this is my envelope, and it's a page from, I can't stop laughing now. It's a page from that herb book that I've used before. I've folded it over, put some lace on, some ribbon, some of that fabric I introduced you to, the curtain fabric that cost me 50p a yard, and I've hand sewn a couple of buttons on there, just in coordinating colours. I've decoupaged it with a decoupage napkin that I've definitely had more use out of than any napkins I've ever had before. I think I might be coming to the end of that pack now. I had a pack of 20 and I've used them for all sorts of things, and every time I love them. So that's the back, and that's the top. And I haven't put anything in this one either. I left the last one empty as well, just so you can put something in yourself. And you can see I have, I don't know if you can see actually, but I've stenciled my rose around there. And the ink that I'm using for this journal is one I've never used before. It's called Old Paper, and it's quite a greeny one. And actually it's brand new, this, and it's really juicy. It's a bit juicier than I would like really, but I'm sure that'll go in time. So that's it. I just put that little bit of paper on the back there because you could see my hand sewing for the buttons, so I've just disguised that with a little bit of torn paper. The tummy tuck itself is some green ticking from My Porch Prints green and yellow ticking pack. That the minute that she said on her group that this was in her store, the minute I bought it, because I knew I'd get such a lot of use out of that. It's I love it, as you know. So let's put this dainty little clasp on. And I'm not going to put this end onto the lace, because then when you pull it off, you pull the lace with it, and it, could possibly tear, so we won't do that. Just make sure that end is on the paper, not on the lace, whatever paper clip you're using or method. So I'll just walk you through what I've got in here. Another design page, and look at them, fabulous. This is from our what's it called, Wildflower Book of the World giant book, and it folds over, and I'll put something there. This is from Edith Holden. I just didn't think it was complete without a bit of Edith. And, she's in keeping with everything that we do, the wildflowers, etc. But look at the colour of that paper. This book was a real find. It's gorgeous. Plain piece of, coffee stained paper. Great, we can do something on there. This design page, isn't that lovely? I don't know if this is your thing or not. It's perhaps a bit more bold than the things that I normally do, so I don't know, maybe it's not your thing, but you can let me know. Can't you? And again, a rose and some ticking, and some more of that 1953 music paper, which is fragile. This one with the spots, I love that too. And this, which has got journaling, so that's great. Although, I'll probably add something to it, but it has got journaling. A piece of tracing paper that I put through the printer. Let's just see if I've got something light to put behind it, and then you can see it. So it's just one of the design pages that I just printed out onto tracing paper, and it's got that lovely vellum feel to it. It's lovely. Page from our bird book. Nice bright yellow hammer. Another design page, which has also got journaling on the back. One of those pages from our year in flowers, or whatever it is. Really pretty. I had to choose something that was quite vibrant. That would have gone nicely in our lilac one, wouldn't it? And I'm not so worried about the back, because I'll sew around it and put a journaling card in, because the back there's, I wouldn't say it's boring, it's still pretty, but I'd rather lose that than lose that. And here we are at the centre spread, Jen. And this is what we're going to be working on today. It's just beautiful paper. I love it. That's the other side of that. Other side of our book. Journaling page. That's gorgeous. I love that. Birdie book. Tracing paper, journaling. All the design pages have got lace on them. Music paper. Design sheets. Coffee stain paper. Edith. Oh, look at that. From our wildflowers around the world. Isn't that a stonker? It's gorgeous. I love that page. And that's, look at that on the other side. It's beautiful. Design sheets. This is the other side of the one that's got the tummy tuck. And this was actually a divider, I think you call them. You get them in, the long file folders that you get, or whatever. You can get them in any shape or size. But this was an A3, out of an A3 file folder, and this was a divider. So it had the holes here that clicks into the rings of the folder, and then this was all of it came out along here. So I've just folded this back. You can see it had a tag on, so you can write, classics or literature or whatever it is, the subject, bills, whatever you've got in there. So I've just used this one in green because it was the one that kind of coordinated. And I've folded this back, put some of our wildflowers of the world down there, another of our dimensional butterflies up there, and some big journaling cards, which I've stenciled on the back. So we're off to, not a bad start. Not a flying start, but not a bad start.
Roll call at that point.
Roll call.
Pat.
Hello, Pat.
Maureen.
Hi, Maureen.
Roz.
Marie.
Hilda.
Hello, Hilda.
Lynn.
Hello, which Lynn?
Whitman.
Hello, Lynn.
Leslie M.
Hello, Leslie.
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Kerry Roberts.
Hi, Kerry.
Janet Ann.
Hello, Jan. Is that it? We done?
Natalie.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Natalie Lee.
I think she'd gone on holiday. She must be back. I hope she had a nice time.
Roz, did I mention Roz?
Yep.
Donna.
Hello, Donna.
Karen Colin.
Hello, Karen. I'm not recognising your name. Welcome along.
I think that may be it. We'll let some comments.
Yeah, briefly.
Carrie says, there's not a single thing you do that I do not like. It's all amazing.
Thank you, Carrie.
Jen agrees.
Oh, sweet.
Hilda agrees and says Fiona's work is art. And Pat says, even down to the choice of papers. And Carrie says, and the humour that goes along is just the icing on the cake. That might be the cherry.
You're the humour, I think.
Oh.
You might be the humour. Anyway, right. So there's some like housekeeping things, guys, that it's come to a pass. I've just seen those again. They're just so funny, aren't they? So much housekeeping, I've actually got a list, okay? So, yeah, thanks to Legine for the small clips. You've given me, so much laughter. Thank you very, very much indeed. And not only that, I'm sure they'll be useful. So, yeah, thank you for those. And Kerry, thank you very much for the embossing folder. I really appreciate it, and it's going in this journal. Definitely is. I'm not going to show it off because I want to show it when it's done its stuff. Right, the collaborative journal. I've just received one more page today, which is strictly speaking outside the time that I gave, but I did extend that because of the COVID thing. The postal delivery service is not quite back to where it was pre-COVID, so things are taking a little bit longer. So I've got a live today, a live tomorrow. Monday I've got a hospital appointment, so I'm giving you till Tuesday the 18th of August, obviously, to get your submissions into me. Now, if you're doing a digital one, that's fine. You know, I'll print that out, and actually I would really welcome it because it'll be a nice thin page in our journal. Or if you mailed me one and I haven't said I've had it, can you just say to me, there's one from me on its way? So that's that. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which has created quite a stir, on the lilac and lavender one that we did, it had a catch, an elasticated band with a catch, and I can't tell you how many people PM me about that. What is it? Where did you get it? What does it do? How does it open? Well, it is this. It's a pair of shoelaces, and we got ours from Ali, and we ordered them yonks ago, so long ago. So I wanted one for this one as well. These cost how much? $150. $155. But I wanted one for this, and I didn't want to wait the sort of, I don't know how long, 2 months maybe even, for these ones to arrive. So we ordered one pair from eBay. So this is the one that we got from eBay, and it cost £6. So if you can wait, I recommend that you go to Ali and order them there. You can have 4 pairs from Ali for the price of one from eBay. But I needed it, so, you know, it's had to be purchased. And they're really clever, actually, and I can't take the credit for this. It was all Mr. Fix-It's idea. And the colours that he bought originally were to go with the boho journal, which they will. When we get back around to that, they'll be perfect. So what you get is this sort of length of elastic, and it's not, you know, it does have a bit of hold to it. So be careful if you're putting it round something. I got round that problem by actually putting another tummy tuck down there, just to strengthen the edges, and I cut a thumb hole top and bottom so the elastic would have a channel to go in. So just be careful if you're just using card or paper, because I think this is strong enough to actually dent the edge if you're not careful. You also get this little pack of screws, and blimey, they are tiny. You get a little screwdriver for the aforementioned screws, and you get obviously 2 because you get, you know, a pair of shoelaces. Or
2 journals.
Or 2 journals. And these are the little magnetic catchers, and you just twist it and they come apart, and then they go back together like that. And I think they look quite nice, actually. They have a nice weight to them. They're nice and shiny. They look good quality, and I think they're perfect for our job. They do have, I don't know if you can see it, but they do have a bit of a sort of curve that way because they're obviously designed to go on your shoes. But when it's on your journal, you can't see that. So they just twist apart and then they come back together. So it's nice and easy. And what we did, and I'll show you on this one when we get up to it, I didn't want to show you on the first one because we weren't sure it was going to work. What we did was we punched a hole there, or wherever it's... Actually, we found where the fattest bit of the journal was, is what we did. And we punched a hole 1 inch in from the top and 1 inch in from the bottom. And then put the lace like that coming out there and out at the bottom, which then means that you have your lace coming up like so and like this, and then you attach your clickety click. So that's that. It's no longer now a great mystery, and I wonder how long it'll be till we find somebody else online on YouTube or whatever doing that. I guess not long, because I think, you know, I think Mr. Fix-It has actually really performed a stunner there. I think it's a brilliant idea. So I just don't want to lose these. So that's them. That's what they're called, quick lace with a K. And I don't know about America, I'm afraid, but they must have them. Right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about, it's like a blooming lecture this today, sorry. As soon as we've done this, we're on to the journal, promise you. Right, little golden books. So I got my journal submission from Jen Sinclair, and in the pack, because she sent me lots of lovely things, in the pack was this little golden book. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'd seen YouTube videos of people altering little golden books, but I'd never really given it much thought, because I thought, oh, they're American, we don't have them here, so I hadn't really thought about them very much. But actually, they're just lovely little books. This one that Jen sent me, I mean, the images in it, the pictures are so sweet. And so what we have done, Jen and myself, Jen has, out of her own pocket, collected and is now sending out. In fact, some of you in the States and Canada might have yours by now. I think she sent out 13. Might be 12. She might have kept one for herself and sent 12, which is extremely generous. Thank you so much, Jen, for that. And what I've done in this country, because Jen was going to send some over here and the postage is ridiculous. So what I've done is I have paid for and had dispatched, I think 7, 6, 7, something like that, to people. And the way that I chose those people was the old Siri method. I allocated everybody on the rack list a number, and the first 6 or whatever that came out, I bought a little golden book for them and had it mailed to them. Nathania, you have one coming, my dear, but it might take slightly longer because, of course, you're in the Netherlands. But other people, I don't know if you've received yours yet. Maureen has received hers. Hers was sent out first and quite a bit before everybody else's, so I had to send Maureen this cryptid PM saying, you're going to be receiving a book, don't do anything with it and don't mention it to anyone. So what we thought we would do is use this as the basis for a junk journal. They're all different. I don't think it's 2 duplicates. So you can each go to town on it. You can do whatever you want. You can leave it as it is and just sort of put pockets or tuck spots or whatever like that. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Or what I'm going to do is take it apart, make a new, not a new cover because I want to use this because it's lovely, but make a new spine for it, show you how to cover the spine, etc., and put some signatures in it using these pages, but with other pages as well. Okay. After that, after we've got it all done, we're going to swap them. And here comes my coffee. Thank you very much indeed. That's lovely. Thanks. Running out of space. Could you put those glues somewhere for me, please? Thank you. Yeah, we're going to swap them. So I'll be swapping mine with somebody. Maureen will be swapping hers with somebody. You know, this isn't boot camp or anything. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play. But if you've got the book and you don't want to play, then could you pass it on to somebody who does? And I'm going to be asking in the group now, I've announced this, for everybody that does want to play. And if you haven't got a book, can I suggest you go onto eBay and buy yourself one? They're about £2 to £2.50 in this country, mostly including the postage. So it's not a big investment. And I think there's plenty to be played with in there. So, yeah.
Flo's joined us.
Oh, hi.
And
Flo, I've bought my own. Look. Couldn't resist. That's yours in there. I couldn't resist.
And Joan Price
Hi, Joan.
said, "Oh, be still my heart, I finally get to see you live. Yay for me. And all who are on."
Yay for you. Yay for me, I think. So that's the little golden book. So once we finish this file folder, we'll be going on to the little golden book and I'll be showing you what I'm doing.
Leslie M says, "Wait, only the people who received your books, or can others swap as well?"
What I'm saying is, if you haven't received your book gratis, then don't be offended. There's just no way that Jen and myself could send every single person a book. So, you know, we've just randomly selected some people to send the books to. But that's not everybody, we know that. So what I'm saying is, if you want to play and do your little golden book up and swap it, please will you go and buy your own? I know that sounds a bit mean, doesn't it? But we just can't afford to send everybody. And they're not very expensive. In this country, they're about £2 to £2.50, including the postage. So it's, you know, it's not dire. And then, yes, everybody who's made one, I'd like everybody's name of people who are going to contribute so we can then swap amongst each other. Is that clear? So anybody can join in. Some will be getting the books for free. Some of you, I'm afraid you'll have to buy them. And then let me know that you're participating in the little golden book swap. And then at the end of it, we'll see who's swapping with who and who gets what. And it's going to be lovely because somebody's going to get, you know, I'm going to swap this with somebody and I'm going to get somebody's little golden book back that I can look at and ooh and ah over. So that's great. So is everybody with me on this one? Everybody? Sounds fun. That wasn't my point. I have loads of golden books. I just want to play too. Yes, Leslie, play. Please play. We'd love for you to play. I'd love for as many people as possible can play. If you have an existing little golden book, as you do, Leslie, that's brilliant. Excellent.
Kerry says, "Did you say they were on eBay?"
Yeah.
And Ellen Adams says, "Lovely idea. I'll look in the charity shop."
Yes. Yeah. Did you find one in the charity shop the other day? Yeah,
the one. Car boot.
Oh, the car boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we sent to Nathaniel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, Leslie, definitely. Pat Fleet, do not go to eBay until I've finished my live. Right, thanks, Lynn, for that. That's great. Everybody's got it. So once I've finished this file folder, which I think the last one took me a little over a week, so whenever I finish that, we'll make a start with this, and then, you know, you can either follow on from what I'm doing, or you can have your own ideas, of course. So there we are. That's that. I think that's housekeeping done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. We'll have an update on the collaborative journal on Wednesday, will we?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Once that's past the deadline.
Yeah, and I can let you know how many submissions I've got. But we're not going to start looking through them, I don't think. Well, I'll keep you apprised of what's going on when I know. Okay, come on, that's half an hour of diddling around.
Yeah, let's get doing.
Let's get journaling. So it's centre spread day. And here's our centre spread. So I know that comes from the middle. I'm going to take that out just to make it easier to deal with. Right, this is going to be the paper that I'm going to use for the pockets in the journal. It's got words on it, which is handy because now I know which way's up. So it's going to go on there. I hope it's not going to be clashy. It might be a little bit clashy, but it'll be okay, I think. And it's actually got a pocket along the bottom, some angles down here with some big journaling cards in, and in the front in this pocket it's got 2 tags, and I think we'll start with the 2 tags because they need a little bit of drying time. So for those of you that have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I have my templates for my tags. These are they, and I think it's probably worthwhile making yourself some templates. It's quicker. You just put them down, draw around them rather than having to measure things out. So my templates are 6.5 by 3.5, 5.5 by 3, and 4.5 by 2.5. So there we are. Take a screenshot if you want. And I've drawn around the larger of them twice to give me 2 tags, one for each side in the centre. So I'm just going to cut these out. I was trying to be really organised today, but I don't know, seems to be a lot going on. Don't know what. It's actually a really nice day up here, which doesn't happen that often. So I'm hoping wherever you are isn't too hot or too cold. Yeah, those papers that I'm using there, as I said, they're from Calico Collage, propped up by the ticking pack. Well, there's 2 packs actually on my porch prints. There's a turquoise and pink pack, and there's a yellow and green pack. So I'll be using those throughout to prop up the... In fact, I very nearly used it for the centre spread, but I thought, no, that's just too predictable. Right, so this is a page from my herb book, and it's got lots of plates in it, but actually for the purposes of this I just want the text, so I'm going to ignore the plates. I'm just going to draw around these. You've seen me do these before, but for the new people, and we do seem to get a lot of new beginners on our group, and so I'm sorry for you guys that are really experienced. We do tend to go over the same things quite a bit. Just going to try and get that hemlock in there. I like the idea of hemlock because it's just so poisonous.
Ask Socrates.
Well, I can't because he's dead, because he died of hemlock. Anyway, oh. So there we are. I'm just going to cut those off, and then I'm sticking them down, and I'm hoping I can find my rubber. Yeah, there it is. At the beginning of any new project like this junk journal that I'm starting now, there's always a bit of time taken up by sorting out which papers you want to go where, what additional papers you want to include, which additional papers you want to include in your journal, you know, music sheets, birds, Edith Holden, whatever it is. And you kind of have to audition all of them to see if they're all right. So all that takes time, and then, you know, on each of my design sheets I like to put lace down the sides, so that all takes time. And actually it's quite an expensive pursuit because, as you know, lace isn't cheap. So that's going to get stuck onto there. And this one. This is going to be quite similar in style. Well, for quite similar, read very similar in style to the lavender and lilac one. Just obviously very different colours and quite bright. I really liked the lavender and lilac one. It was subdued, sort of up my street, but I love these papers as well. I also bought the ephemera pack because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Right. So let's just get these stuck onto here and then we can move on to the next part. So I want to glue the plate, the picture. That's the one we don't want. And then place this quite carefully onto there. You can always trim it up, so don't panic. Because when you draw around things, it tends to have an inherent inaccuracy to it. An inherent inaccuracy? Who do I think I am? There we go. Pop that onto this side because that's the side I've got a pencil line on that I could do with hiding. So there we go. So you can see there is some spillage here over the side. Let me just whip that off. So I was going to ask this on the group last night, but I'll ask you now. Is everybody making a journal at the moment? And, you know, if you are, what is it? If you're not, what are you doing? I'm just really interested what it is that everybody does in the junk journaling world, because I seem to make, well, I like making little folios, and they invariably get used as giveaways, but that's fine. I think everybody that received their folio from the last giveaway, Leslie, you're the only one I can remember actually, might be Maureen as well, but Leslie, you seem pleased with yours, which is great. That's good. Right, okay, so we've got these. So this is obviously going to be the back, the coffee stained bit. This is going to be the front, and what we're going to do is use our Old Faithful napkin. At first, when you look at this, it's not an obvious decoupage napkin, but, you know, as I say, it's really served me well. So I'm just going to tear out some of these roses, which I should have had done before we came on. Sorry, guys. And then once I've got these on, they can take the time drying, and we can move on to the actual pocket parts, etc. So I've got a straight line down there. That's not really much use for me, to be honest. Yeah, could come in here, come down here. For the people who are new to this, I'll just say this, I know everybody else knows it, but, you know, not everybody is as experienced as we are. Napkins generally come in 3 plies, so 3 sheets to each napkin. The top sheet is the sheet that's got the ink on, and then there's 2 other pieces that you can just dispose of. So that's the 3 plies. There's one that's pure white, another one that's pure white, and then this one that's got the design on. And it's only that one that we're interested in. The others are rubbish. It's a better idea, unless you are really precise in your fussy cutting, to just tear around napkins, because then when you glue them down, the edge just disappears. Now, with this one, because the background of the napkin is white and we're putting it onto white paper, that's a good place to start. Start with white napkins. We'll move on to what you do when it's not white at a later date. Tear these 2 out. So that's why I'm tearing around these, not just quickly cutting around, because a straight line, your eye perceives it as a straight line. Hi, Nathania. Nathania, you've got a little golden book coming your way, and if you want to sort of kind of start from the beginning of this live, sorry it's a bit of an ordeal, you'll find out what it's all about. But I'll put it on the group later anyway, so it'll all become apparent. I'm really looking forward to doing my little golden book. It's so far removed from the normal things that I do, you know, flowers, butterflies, etc. This has got little creatures in, little dogs and cats and squirrels and stuff, my book has. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. What do I need to take off here? Definitely all of this. Too much going on there. I probably need to lose this as well. Yeah, and a bit down here. So previously I've used a couple of pieces of napkin, you know, put one down here perhaps and another little bit at the top. I'm just going to use one for each of these. I think that's fine. I think that's sufficient. And the different parts of the napkin, which is good. Right, I'm just going to have a mouthful of coffee, sorry. So as I've just said to you, it's only the top layer that we are interested in. So split your plies off and just keep the top on. Same with this. I believe Hilda's been sending out some lovely napkins to everybody. It's incredibly kind of her. She's been sending them internationally as well. I mean, the postage is so high. So nobody's got any excuses now. You've all got napkins. Time to crack on and do this. Now for today's decoupage, I am using Fusion Mineral Paint, Decoupage and Transfer Gel. I used to be a stockist of this brand, so I've got it, so I'm going to use it. No other reason. No other reason than that. I haven't watered this down. I sometimes do because it can take it, but I haven't on this occasion. Now that straight edge, I want up my straight edge there. So starting from the middle, guys, you people that are new, and just always brush from the middle out just beyond the edge and go round in a sort of ordered fashion, shall I say that? Yeah. And then when you get that you've done the top half, go straight down the middle there and make sure you've got plenty glue on your brush. If you haven't, your napkin will tear. That is for sure and certain. because you create too much friction with a dry brush and it'll just tear it. So make sure you've got plenty glue on. So there we are. Not a wrinkle to be seen, my goodness. And with the Fusion, I don't know what it is, it's just a bit stronger, I think. I don't have to put any glue underneath it before I stick it down. I'm all right just putting the Fusion on from the top. And it's lovely because where it's pale, the texture's coming through, and that's what I was after. So same again, from the center straight up to the top and then round, making sure you've got plenty glue on your brush, and then from the center top round halfway like that.
Jen wants to know if you're going to use cling wrap today.
Don't think so. We're going all right, Jen. I think we haven't got any wrinkles. But let me just finish this, because I might not look it, but I'm kind of concentrating. Oh dear. There we are, right. Okay, now then, if you've done that and you have got wrinkles, and that's not, it just happens. You know, you've got wet tissue paper here. It's thin as thin can be. Yeah.
Louise Anderson would like to know what type of stuff you're using.
I am using this. It's Fusion Decoupage and Transfer Gel. And any of the girls that are Fusion stockists, furniture painters really, will have this. And it's a really good glue. Really good. And it's not that expensive. It's cheaper than, you know, your Mod Podge and all that sort of stuff. Because it's not really meant for crafters, I don't suppose. It's furniture painters.
Yeah, it is very good for transferring as well.
It's brilliant for transferring. Yeah, it is. So that's the stuff. You know, ring around before you go, just in case I haven't got it in stock, obviously. But that's it. That's the job that it does. Does a good job for me. What I was saying is, if you've got any wrinkles, and don't be alarmed if you have, you know, don't throw your hands up in horror and say, oh, woe is me. It just happens. But get yourself some cling wrap and just put it over it and then press out any wrinkles gently. Make sure you use the cling wrap though. Don't just set about with your fingers, because you'll tear it.
Louise wants to know, is it better than Mod Podge?
Yes. Yes, it definitely is. And I tried a little experiment this morning, because we've been having problems with other glues that you can't actually ink over them. I did an experiment with this morning, and you can ink over it. So it's better than the other glues in that department as well. So there we go. I shall set those to the side to dry, Mr. Fixer. I don't think they need drying off. I think they'll dry all right. I know you're running out of space as well. So it's now time. Oh, hang on. Do you want this as well, my dear? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wasn't that thirsty.
Right, so let's move along to the actual centre itself. So I need to ascertain how tall I want this to be. So I'd like it to be 3/4 of an inch in, I'd say that is. And I'd like it to be, well, I want a pocket that's about 2 inches. I've got an extra ruler in there, it's very tight. So if I cut off 2 inches, that would bring us to there. And if that, yeah, I think that's fine. Right, so the first thing to do is cut off the bottom pocket then, or the piece of card that is going to be the bottom pocket. And I need some room here, and I simply haven't got any. I've got everything out for this that I thought I might just ever need. So my desk is absolutely crammed. This is the thing. I know that other people are more organised than I am, and they make a demo one, and then they only need to leave out what they've used in their demo. I don't do that. I kind of wish I did. Right, so I want to cut 2 inches off. I use quilting rulers. Now girls, I know that you don't all use quilting rulers, and I know that some of you have no experience with them and wonder what on earth I'm going on about using them. For me, I get the most accurate cut, I get the most accurate measurement, and that is, I think, the crux of the whole thing, accuracy. Now this is a long ruler, so I'm going to have to walk my hand along it as I cut. Right, and I use a rotary cutter to cut with. That way then you get a good sharp cut. It's one cut and it's done. I just don't get that with you know, those slidey cutty things. It just doesn't, they don't work for me. They do work, but I find it, they're just not as accurate. But, you know, to each our own. Right, so this is my pocket, this piece here that we've just cut off, and it's going to go along the bottom, like so. But this is probably too wide for our purpose. So let's just have a look at the width, the overall width. Let's lay my pocket piece to one side. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is ludicrous. It's wider than the actual design sheet. So I think you could say that, yeah, it's a little bit too wide. Oh, that coffee's nice today, Mr. F. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, so what I want to do is fold this in half. Like so. And I haven't printed on the back of this because it'd just be a waste of ink. We don't need it. And that's going to go in the middle there. And so I'd like it to come to about this. It's relatively arbitrary, this. You can have it to wherever you fancy, really. I think there. I'm just going to mark that. Mark it with a pencil is probably a better idea. So it's there, that's where I want it. Just going to put that mark next to it because I couldn't really see it with the text. So I'm just going to fold this back on itself. Once you've got a good crease in, it'll easily fold back on itself, and that's where I want it, there. So I can just line it up and cut both sides at the same time, so they're going to be the same. That's why I wanted to fold it in half. So put that there. I've got an invasion of flies doing the best to dive bomb me. That's just not quite long enough. So that's square, all square. Chop that up. Save those for a rainy day. You never know when you might need those. And here's our centre. Right, so we need to cut this off at the same length. Now, I want to include this. It's the prettiest thing that there is in there. So I'm going to make sure that I include that, which would have been cut off if we'd done it the other way around, if we'd done the width first. So I'm glad that we didn't, because I want to preserve that. So that's where this needs to be cut off there.
Victoria Max is hello from Illinois.
Hello, Illinois.
And she was wondering where she can get that paper punch tag.
It was a gift. I was gifted it. Hilda, any ideas? Yeah, I was very kindly gifted it. I've lost my mark if you wonder what I'm doing. Lost my marbles, I think. Yeah, it's there. I'm just going to put a little circle next to it so I can't see it. So I'm just cutting off straight along there. Now then, That's going to go on there. So what I'm going to do now is put some ribbon and some lace on. I've also got some yellow ribbon. No, it's no good. I've got some green voile. No, equally no good. Pink it is then. And some lace. Yeah, some sort of thinnish, I think. Yeah, you don't want to put the, you know, the ordinary thick sort of cotton crochet lace that we use all the time. This stuff. Don't want to really put that in there because this is the centre and it's going to be folding completely back on itself, and this is quite thick. So that's just adding bulk right away to the centre, and that's the last place that you want it. You could use the very sort of small, but kind of what's the point? It's little. So I've got two of these. I mean, they're the cheap ones, but they're perfect for our cause for this. So I've got this one that's quite wide, would actually cover the whole shooting match, and this one that's not quite so wide, which I could put down there with a bit of ribbon at the top, like that. I don't know, I'm quite fancying this one now. I didn't think I would, I just got it out to show you. But I quite like that idea. Could put that there and I could still have ribbon on the top. What do you reckon, guys? I don't know what to say. What do you think? Wide or narrow? Wide or narrow? Let me know. Cheap and cheerful hack for a tag. I'll post it on the group. Oh, great. Well done, Flo. Victoria, there was a storm a few days ago and we had no power for 24 hours. Now there's another storm. Oh, no. Yeah, I can't wait to see your hack. Hacks are brilliant. Right, nobody's saying thick or thin. Nobody's just helping me here at all. I'm going for the thin. That way then at least you can see something of this.
People say wide, wide, wide and wide.
Oh, I'm going for the wide.
Ross says wide, Jen says wide, Nancy says wide, and Samantha C says wide.
Hi Nancy, I didn't know you were on. Right, wide, we're going wide. I was always going to go wide, you know that. I wasn't at all. Right, so I'm going to attach it with some double-sided tape because anytime you put glue on through this lace, mesh sort of lace, you just end up in a right how-do-you-do. So
John Price says, love the bigger lace with ribbon.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, John, I think.
And Lynn Whitman says pink in the middle.
Pink in the middle. Pink in the middle. We'll see.
Your decision.
We'll see. I sound very teachery when I say that. We'll see. Okay, somewhere on this table I've got some scissors. Yeah, here we go. I know I didn't think I'd like that wide. I got it out just so I could show you. And then lo and behold, it was just the job. So I'm just going to put another bit of this in, double-sided, just half an inch up from the bottom, just to catch it so it doesn't get flapping around everywhere. I mean, I don't know where I think it's going to flap to, you know what I mean? It's a junk journal, but never mind.
Maureen Smith says, oh, thin, just because. No, I like the wide one. There's always one.
There's always one, and it's Maureen today. Right, so let's take this off. It's amazing how quickly my roll of double-sided's going down. Good job, Mr. Fix-It ordered several dozen. Well, 5, I think. So which is the right side then? I think this No, that might be the right side actually. So this is really cheap ribbon, lace, I mean to say. So I just want to get that exactly on that edge. Really is what I'd like. There we go. Oh, it's got caught up in that. That's it. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Straighten the ends off, obviously. Right. Thing about this cheap stuff is, it's if you've got a woolly on or anything, it absolutely sticks to it. You end up walking around dragging lace behind you, as befits a junk journaler. Oh dear, but it has happened to me. Genuinely has happened to me. Right, now I can just see, can you see that on there, there's a sort of shine where that double-sided is. It will in time disappear, but if it's really bugging you today and you need to do something about it today, then the solution is this. Icing sugar.
Oh, no, it says rock salt.
Yeah, it says rock salt, but it's icing sugar. And you just put it on to where your double tape is that's annoying you because it's shiny. And go all the way along like that. And it just takes that shine off it. The shine will come off itself eventually. So I don't really need to do this, but
And it gets rid of excess stickiness.
it does, yeah. If you've ever got something that won't dry, refuses to dry, whatever, stick some icing sugar on it, and it'll absorb all the stickiness and you're back to good.
At least this is where you claim you have a tub of icing sugar in your craft room.
I know. Usually, if you weren't watching me now, not you, Mr. F, I mean everybody, then I would just go like that. Because it's really nice. So there we are, that's that. Oh, I've got icing sugar everywhere. That's it, and it just does the job. And yeah, as Mr. F says, it gets rid of excess stickiness in lots of situations. Right, so I'm just going to put some pink ribbon along here. Shall I put it there? I have other things that I want to add to this, so I'll just show you what they are. And then we can have a bit of a decision going on. What time is it? Oh my goodness me, it's ridiculous already. I don't want the purple flowers on this one, so I'm just going to cut round them.
Rose wants to know, would talc work?
Yeah, talc would work. Yeah, definitely. Just doesn't taste so nice. Yeah, no, talc. I think when I saw, and I can't remember who it was, when I saw somebody giving the tip originally, they were using talc, and I thought, well, I haven't got any talc. What else have I got that's fine? And then I remembered icing sugar.
Jean's joined us.
Jean?
Jean Salton.
Oh.
Or Le Jean as you.
Have you just joined us, darling? I have been extolling the virtues of these. These are just fabulous. I absolutely adore them. They're the tiniest little bulldog clips in all of the land. And I've used one. I'll show you later, Jean, where I've used it. But I have used one already, and there's, I mean, though they are small, they are mighty. I know that's not the exact words that were used in Midsummer Night's Dream, but that's what I'm going to use. Because, yeah, these are small, but they have a heck of a grip. So, anyway, where were we? So, thank you, Jean. Thank you so much, my dear. So, I've got a ruffle there. I might not keep that ruffle because, as I say, it's in the centre spread. I don't want to create too much bulk, but I'm not going to put it all the way across, so it might be all right. And I have some butterflies. Not that one, that's the wrong sort of colour. This one, which is a nice greeny colour. This one, which is a pink metallic. Or I have flowers from Hobbycraft. Cream or pink. You guys are going to have to do some deciding, you know, simple as. Just come on, Lynn, come on everybody, get cracking. What exactly am I going to do here? And I have some words here. And I have this one that I've used as the cover for our Facebook group, because it actually is our Facebook group, Be Kind, which I could put down there with a butterfly. I mean cut out, it's obviously not cut out yet. With a butterfly there. That's quite nice. What do you think, guys? Quite like that. Or would it look better with a flower? Do you guys do this, or is it just me?
3 people saying pink.
Pink.
And Jen confessing to little bags of white powder. That she uses for embossing, apparently.
Yeah, of course she does. Yeah, so if I didn't have the butterfly but had that instead, or had 2 of those, let's push the bolt out.
Leslie answers, not the butterfly, use the flowers.
Use flowers, okay.
Yeah. And Nancy says she can't see the butterfly when it's on, I guess.
Ah, yeah, no, it gets a bit lost, you're right. It's a bit too good of a match. So I could have 2 of those, couldn't I?
And
like
Samantha
that.
C says the flowers are fantastic.
So is that it? Are we sorted with that, do you think? I like that, actually. Isn't it amazing the different looks you can get just by altering a couple of different things? Oh, I've dropped a pink flower. Is that pink here? These are from Hobbycraft and they're really not expensive. It's one of the rare things that Hobbycraft does that aren't ridiculously expensive. Right, so let's cut this off then at a reasonable place. Let's cut that off there. Okay, let's cut our Be Kind out. It's only right that that should be in the middle of this journal. It should actually be in all my journals, because that is definitely our ethos, isn't it, guys? It's funny not having you here chatting, because in my mind you are here chatting, and then when I go quiet there's no chat. I think, where's everybody gone? Right, so there we are. I do like that ruffle though. I'm liking it a lot. So that's it. That's going there. Marvellous. Move along the bus. Thank you. So I'm going to stick this on with double-sided. Please don't stick your satin ribbon on with glue. I don't know about art glitter glue. I've never had it. Never tried it. It might be okay. But any of the wet glues that I've got, if you're using satin ribbon, it just comes straight through. Leaves a splodgy ooh. Don't know what's going on here, guys, but something very strange.
Caught on your finger, I think.
Yeah, I think it's caught on my finger. I never quite got the hang of applying double-sided.
Flo says she auditions things endlessly.
Yeah.
And Jean says she does as well.
Bizarre, isn't it? Generally, you know, you come back to the first one. The thing that you tried first, that's the one that's right. But you just have to try everything else that you've got in your drawers. Jen, cut it out.
Stop sniggering, Jen.
Stop sniggering. Oh no, attached to everything. Right. Oh dear, get in the bin. Right, let's just get this bit of bling ribbon put down. This would be the death of me. I'm going to put that bit that's not quite right underneath. So I'm putting that there. That's it. Right, it's down. Hallelujah. So this can be glued on with Fabri-Tac. And I know it's fabric and I know what I just said, but because it's ruffled and it's zigzagged, that fabric under the zigzag is fine to use Fabri-Tac. And you want to use quite a bit of it.
Flo says that their town has a secretary of kindness.
Secretary of kindness? We need one. Kindness, I like that. Which state do you live in, Florence? Please. I love the idea of that.
Permanent state of bewilderness.
Yeah, that's where we live, my dear.
That's true.
So I'm just going to pull that stitching straight. It wasn't straight particularly. I'm just going to pull it so it looks right, like that. I like that. Let's cut some of these fibres off. I don't mind the odd one, but they were just a bit too much. This Fabri-Tac in this little bottle that I've got is running out, and when it does, I will be using just my lovely new smart bottles with a little silicone hood on the top. I don't know what you call it. Thing that goes on the top. Because they're much easier to use. Right, so let's attach the Be Kind. Just want to get that in the right place. These two flowers there. Yeah, so it's about there. Okay, so I'm going to Fabri-Tac that as well. Anywhere where I've got fibres of any sort, you know, fabric, hemp, jute, anything, I use Fabri-Tac, and it has so far never let me down. Okay, that comes to there. It's what takes the time up, isn't it? The auditioning. You know, if you've gone through all that, and then you're just putting everything together, it's a breeze. Everything just goes together. It's the fact that you've got to stop all the time and go through every single thing that you own, just in case you find something that's slightly better. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to get my new thing of Fabri-Tac out because there's not enough left in that one. Now these, I think these little beads come off, which is fine by me. I don't want to be sending anything out that's got beads that might be a bit dubious. So I'm going to take them off, and then I know that they won't fall off because they're not on there. And then, Jen, guess what? We're going to put some bling on. That looks nice, doesn't it? Actually, I decided the other day the best thing for these flowers was E6000.
Flo says she's in Maryland.
All right. I don't know why I didn't imagine her to be in Maryland. Don't know where I imagined her to be. So I don't know what size we need.
In a fairy tale castle, I would have thought.
Yeah.
With two sisters.
Yeah.
This is what I would have imagined.
So that's that size. That's probably the right size, I think. So I'll get another one of those out. These are called Aurora Borealis because they reflect the light that's all different colours. So let me stick my flowers down first. So I'm using this. I would say if you've got chest complaints, like me, I'm asthmatic, then don't use E6000 because it does smell a bit. Or if you're using it, make sure you're using it somewhere that's quite well ventilated, which I am. All the windows are open because I've decided today's the day to tell all the neighbours about junk journaling, obviously. I'll just move that to there and that to there. So I've got a bit of an overlap situation. Right, so now I want to put my beads on. So you don't need that much glue for your beads. Yeah, I'm starting to get the smell of that now. That hasn't stuck. Do you think it will stick?
Yeah, once it dries.
Yeah.
It's not instant grab.
Shall I just hold it for a wee while?
Yeah. Be patient.
I'm not good at that.
Nathaniel's saying you can use an acrylic block to cut your double-sided.
Yeah, I know. I know. This just isn't nothing sticking.
Persevering.
My bling's not sticking. My paper isn't sticking. Okay, I'll pass that over to the experts. Yeah, I know about the acrylic block, but I'm thinking that the industrial double-sided that Mr. F ordered for me doesn't seem to want to cut with a acrylic block. I have tried it. I've tried it with loads of things, and I can't get. It's just I either need to cut it with a rotary cutter or scissors. But for other people that have got normal double-sided, yeah, I've seen people use acrylic blocks. Thanks, Nathaniel. Right, so back to our centre. So here we are. Here it is. Make sure we've got it. It's got ice and sugar on it. I can feel it. So we want to leave a gap at the top. There's our centre. So we want to leave, say, about 1.5 inches on each side. So I'll just put a mark there. And that gives us that's kind of 4 1/4 there. So I'm going to mark down this side 4 1/4. So that's 4 1/4 down from there. That's 4 1/4 in from this end, and that is 1.5 inches from the end. These are, once again, I stress, they're arbitrary measurements. You can do yours, whatever measurements it is that it's going to fit in. So I'm just going to fold that on the line that I marked, and that line there that I marked, and that will give us an angle like so. Just before I press that in with my bone folder, I'm just going to make sure doubly sure that that's right. So that's there. So let's just square that up with the bottom like that. And yeah, that's not quite square. So I'm just going to bring that in to where it is square and then press that down. So when you've got your ruler square along the bottom, this edge here should be square with your ruler. Okay, is everybody okay with that? Stuck?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just apply some pressure.
Ah, pressure. There we go, isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's lovely. Let's put this slot away then and put something off my desk.
All beams work with a bit of pressure. Better.
Yeah. I just put loads of pressure on so much that the gem nearly went through to my bone. Maybe a slight exaggeration.
Just a slight.
Right, so let's just do the same with this one. I want to fold it over that way and then we'll see. So I just need to fold that there at that mark, fold that there at that mark. So I'm just taking that measurement off the one that we've already done. make sure that that's square all the way along. That's it there, and just fold that up to the edge of the ruler, and then you will be right. So there we are, that's that. And that is the trickiest part of the whole thing. I mean, you know, and it's hardly tricky, is it really? So let's just crease those in with a bone folder so they're good and sorted. And then I'm going to ink around them, then I'm going to sew around it. Where's my pocket? And I'm going to sew this, I'm going to glue this and sew this into place at the same time. Actually, having said that, I'm not going to go along the bottom because I like the way that lace looks, and if I sew it, it's going to spoil that look. So let's ink. Let's ink, people. Lost me blooming dobber. Here we are.
And Jean says that area is so beautiful, and Samantha C says glad you went with a wide ribbon. It looks lovely.
Yeah, it looks pretty, doesn't it? Really pretty.
And Flo says that's brilliant. Mine are always crooky. And Jen says hi, Bobby.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, he was looking out the window. Something's. I don't need to do the bottom actually because the pocket's going on there. So that's inked all the way around. Like I say, this is a bit of a juicy fella at the minute. It's leaving quite a thick mark, but it'll all too soon be finished, won't it? So I'm just going to stick this on here. Yeah, look at that, it still fits. So I'm going to stick along the bottom and just a little bit up the sides because I'm going to sew there, and I don't, you know, don't want to put too much glue through my sewing machine. Nearly forgot what I was talking about there. So a little bit of Fabri-Tac down the sides, fair bit along the bottom. Well, a fair bit. I mean, this is coming out the smallest nozzle. These bottles are brilliant, Lynn. Thanks so much. And they've got different colours. There's about 6 different colours. So you'd always know which glue you're using because they're colour coded. So I've got my Aleene's in the green top and my Fabri-Tac in the red top because it comes in a bottle with a red top. So I find that easy to remember. And a little bit up the side just to hold it in place while I sew, really. Right, so let's just pop that where it needs to go.
Jen says it still fits. I say that every morning when I get dressed.
I wish I could. You're just bragging now. Right, so let's just fold that over and then press it down so we know that we've got a good fit. There we go. That's lovely. Lovely, lovely. Put my lid back on. You see, it's just this, it's always there. It's on this flexible silicone thing. It's got this little hat that goes on the nozzle. It's brilliant. Right, so I'm just going to sew from here all the way around back to here. Okay. There's a fly. And it's using a straight stitch. Get caught up in. No, it's alright. It's okay. Sorry if I keep blocking the camera, it's just quite close in. I see I have inspired Lynn Whitman to get cracking with sewing her journals. And I'm really pleased because I think once you do it, you'll see just what it adds to a journal. I know it takes time. It's a right, sorry, I'm going to block your view here. You know, it's a right pain. You get everything done, then you've got to sew. But I do think it adds a lot.
Leslie M says she had a friend sew around some of her journal cards yesterday. Boy, what a difference.
Yeah, exactly, Leslie. It really, really does make a difference. I think people that receive my journals, you know, whether as giveaways, gifts, or however, whatever, appreciate it. They generally always say, oh, you know, the sewing sort of makes it. So just cutting the ends off here. I just reversed a little bit both at each end just to lock the stitches off. If people tell you that you don't need to do that, don't listen to them. It's rubbish. You need to lock your stitches off. Right, so we're coming along. So I just need to cut these off. Nobody's ever going to see them, so don't worry too much. That's fine, that's perfectly fine. If you think it's going to catch on your cards, just put a bit of glue on it. There we go. I'm not going to bother with glue because I don't need it. I'm just going to fold this back over this way. Now don't be awkward. It sometimes does happen. So you just have to persuade it that that's the way it wants to go. So there we are, we have persuaded it. So make sure you've got that perfectly lined up and press like Billy-O. There we are, that's all right, that's fine. Right, so this is the page that it's going into. So it's going to look like that. It looks all right. It's very busy, isn't it? It's a very busy page. Right, so back to our tags that we put in there. Well, actually, first, before that, I can glue this. I can glue it in situ, glue it where it needs to go. So I need the middle on the middle.
Leslie wants to know, could you sew that little bit down in the middle?
This bit? Yeah, I guess you could. I'm trying not to put any stitches, glue, etc. up that central line, because when you come to put the sew the signature in, anything that's right on the middle is an absolute pain in the behind, because it gets caught as you're going through. So it will eventually be sewn in anyway, because it will be in the signature. So you don't need to overly stress about it. It will be held down ultimately in the signature when it gets sewn on. But yeah, good point. Good point. Any point like that's worth considering, always. So that's the centre there. So I'm just going to make a mark. Oh, come on. Where I'm going to stick this. Mark along the bottom, mark along the side. Same thing here. So I can get it fairly square. That looks okay to me. So I need to glue this top bit, these sides, and along the bottom down onto there. Okay. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because why not? So these are going to be pockets, so you know you need a fair bit of glue. You don't want them springing open ever. Have any of you tried the acetate page that I showed you the other day? Well, Wednesday I think it was. Somebody came on our group later on and asked how they could use the wildflowers, and I'd just done the acetate page. I think it's quite a bug actually. You know the journal that I've got sort of ongoing, the spring, summer, autumn, winter one? I'm going to start collecting flowers from each month and drying them and keeping them so that I've got flowers to put in the appropriate month when I get there. I don't know what I'm going to put in blinking January and February like, but... Right, let's see if we can get this down safely. So that's the bottom and that's the side. That's the bottom and that's the side. And that centre should be right on the centre, which it is. Okay, so let's stick that down. Let's put the lid on my glue. That's what I'll do. And just stick these down. I've got some pencil lines that I need to... Bobby, get down off there. He's sitting in the window, cooking. So make sure you press this firmly. As I say, you know, these are pockets, so they need to be secure. Fabri-Tac will do the job, I'm quite sure. Right, so I'm just going to erase a couple of these marks that I made to help with, and that's about it. Oh, there's one up the side there. The other marks you can't see because it's bang on. Right, so where are our... Could you pass me the 2 decoupage doodahs, please? Thank you. Marvellous. Right, so these are nice and dry now, and kind of what always happens is they begin to feel a little bit rough. I'm going to try this. These might not be just set enough yet, but I just take a very fine, it really is fine, I mean it doesn't really have any texture on it, and just gently go over the decoupage. Now be careful if it's not properly dry. I would recommend that you leave these for, you know, overnight really. And you'll feel as you do it, they just flatten out. They just flatten out and become like the paper itself. So it doesn't feel like decoupage. I'm really not applying much pressure, and there's really not much grit on this sandpaper. But that feels so much better than that one. And I don't know, it just looks better. It looks like it's just part of the paper now. This was a tip that I learned from Andrea at Arty Mills, and it stood me in good stead. You'll feel it when it's there because it just feels, like I say, like it's part of the paper. So there we are, that's those two with a decoupage on. Right, so what I want to do now is just do some inking around that with my, I'll use this this new Distress ink that I've got, this old paper one, but I'm just going to be cautious because it's so juicy. So see if I've got any ink on it to start with. Yeah, there we are. So I haven't added any additional ink to that. It's just what I've got left on there.
Jean says she likes the feel of the decoupage, but now she wants to try sanding it. Jen says she brought one of those blocks and they work awesome.
Which block?
Sanding block.
Oh, yeah, they do. Well, it's easier to not get too much pressure on them, I think. If you've got a bit of sandpaper, you're very tempted to put too much pressure on.
And Pat says, note to self, turn down sound for sanding, the teeth are on edge.
Oh no, sorry. Sorry.
and Nancy's got to go.
Oh, okay, Nancy. Well, thank you very much, certainly for all you do for the channel. And I'll catch you maybe tomorrow if you can. Okay, bye. So I'm just going round our decoupage with this little stencil that I've got. Any little stencil will do. This is the one that I've been using a lot recently. And there you see a little stenciling that I've done. And the decoupage. And just do this one as well. I think little things like this just make it, don't they? Just taking the time to actually do this sort of thing. They really make it look nice and like you cared, which of course we do. Well, you wouldn't be watching, would you, if you didn't? Just a little bit down here. You don't have to get the whole flowers in or anything, just little bits, just to give the impression. So there we are, that's that on that side. I think that's sufficient. I'm just going to turn it over and put some on the back side. You can still journal over that, of course you can. It's not heavy enough to stop anybody journaling on it. So there we go. Same on the other one. And all of this stuff that takes the time. You know, if you're just making a journaling card and you're not backing it in coffee stain paper and you're not putting a stencil on and you're not sewing around it, blah, 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 then, you know, you'll be finished in no time. But, you know, we do these things because we care.
Pat was asking if I made that rose stencil.
Yep.
And I said I'd send her the file if she wanted it.
Yeah, definitely.
Or anybody else that wants it.
Yeah, this is one of Mr. F's stencils. We've got the SVG file, haven't we?
Yep.
Yep. So if you want it, we'll put it on the group. That's the best thing to do, isn't it? We'll put the file on the group. If you're watching this and you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a sister group that runs alongside this called Miss Paintalot's Junk Journal Group. So if you go there, you know, we'd be very happy to have you. Of course we would. And we'll put this file on there. And there's lots of other good things goes on there in that group. So I'm just going to sew around these for a second. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to straight stitch. No, I'm going to zigzag around them. Just to be different. One down. I'm actually using an off-white thread for this one because there are so many colours in the design papers that I couldn't decide on a definite colour. So I opted for just a sort of, I guess it's called winter white, off-white. It's not cream, it's not that far, it's just off-white. But of course you could, I mean, a lot of people use black. So, I mean, you can use whatever colour you fancy. Lovely, so that's them done. They just need some ribbon in the top. If it looks like your stitches are going to come undone, you haven't reversed enough or whatever, then just put a little bit of glue down where you've finished and just rub it between your fingers, and that little bit of glue will be enough to hold the stitches in place, but it doesn't happen like that very often. Right, so now let's just put some ribbon in there. So I'm just measuring this up on the grids on here, and it's 1.5 inches, so I want to come in the center, which is there, about down to there. And same with this, measure it up and come down to about there, I guess, similar sort of place. And I'm going to get my super duper new crocodile out. Look at this fellow, he's gorgeous. Thank you, Hilda. Let's make a hole there and a hole here. And then we can decide what sort of ribbon, etc., etc. we're going to put in. So I'm going to put some of this in, definitely. So I'll cut it about there. Same for the other side. I'm going to put some of this thin cream lace in. Similar sort of length, maybe slightly longer. Same for the other side. Let's see what else I've got there I could put in. I've got yellow. Oh, I'm sure I've probably got some cream around somewhere. That looks like cream. This is definitely cream and it's thin. That's quite nice. That's a nice point of difference there. So cut that to there, and that's probably enough. These are just small tags, you know, that don't need masses. And what I'm going to tie them with is some eyelash trim. Eyelash trim makes great ties and it's fancy, so it's kind of double whammy. Those of you that have been getting some nice little gifts from Hilda of late might have received some of this. I did, and it's fabulous. So I'll show you how to use it for this, and then you'll think, oh, I want to do that. I hope that's what you think anyway. You might think, oh my goodness, Bobby's sat in the window again cooking. This daft dog. So I'll just put all these things through. I just push them through the pokey tool, but you'll have your own method, I'm perfectly sure. And this nice little cream thin one, I like that. So there we are. Hold them like that. Get your bit of eyelash trim. And we're just going to tie around there. Like so. And because the eyelash trim is so thin, the yarn itself, it can get a really good tight knot in there, which means your ribbon isn't going anywhere. Just tie a little bow with it if you want to. I'm a rubbish bow tire. So there we are, that's that, and it adds to the overall prettiness of the thing. And there we go, that's nice. So that can go in our in that side of our paper, like so. And I won't do that one now because it's exactly the same, so you know how to do it. But I'll just pop that in there so you know it's going to have that on. And then we'll just do the big massive journaling card that is going in the back. So that eyelash trim is fabulous, I love it for that purpose. So the big journaling card, what size do we need for it? Large, that's what we need, large. So we need it, that's the center, but I can't go to the center because I've glued to here, and I glued, what did I measure, 4 1/4 in, didn't I? So let's just put that down there and bring it in a little bit. Glue without you there. Bring it in a little bit, and you want to bring it in a little bit from this edge. So that's going to leave me 1, 2, 3, 3 3/4, maybe at a touch, 3 3/4. I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4, and I'll try it then and see how it looks. And I'm going to do it, I'm going to be even more busy by adding another page from this Flowers of the World. And I've got some gorgeous ones here. Ooh, that's a nice one. Let's just use that one. Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they? So 3 3/4. So I just want to bring it in slightly, because this has got a bit of a border around it with not much going on. So I'm going to trim that off. So I'm cutting that at 3 3/4, and I'll explain to you in a sec exactly what I'm doing. So there we are. I'm just going to turn that around. I've cut that at slightly more than 3 3/4, so as I can turn it round, go to 3 3/4 and trim off some of that margin that was on the side. So there we are. That's now the right width, I think. And I just need to see how deep I need it. And I need it to be maybe just slightly higher than that, do you think? So that's about 9 inches. I'm happy with 9. Let's go for 9 inches. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the top because it's got that margin on it again. So just down to where the flowers begin, because that's just empty space. And then I'm going to cut this at 9, which is where? There. Straighten it up on all the sides. Cut that there. So all we're cutting off pretty much really is just a bit of leafage, which we don't need. So let's just try this on for size. It should be okay, but gotta see. That's quite tight. It's too tight, in fact. So I'm going to have to cut a bit more off that. I'll go down this side, I think. I'm going to cut off 1/4 of an inch, because in journaling terms that's quite a lot. So let's try that. I don't want to cut too much off. That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you've seen the way that I've done this, if you want to change and make yours wider so you can have larger journaling tags, that's fine. This is just kind of the method. You can change it up, make it smaller, whatever. This is just the overall kind of method of it. So that's that one. So let's cut the other one out, seeing as we're here. So it's 3.5 now, isn't it? No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That says 4 inches. I thought I cut it at 3 3/4. Just had my ruler the other way around. That's bizarre. Right, so 4 inches it says. 4 inches I'm doing. Yeah, of course your measurements will all be different anyway, unless you're doing an A3 one. I thought our A3 printer had conked out last night. It just stopped all of a sudden. And my heart was in my mouth because they're so expensive to buy. But fortunately, I can't remember, I think the cat had pulled the plug out of the wall or something. Thank goodness. So I want this the same height as this one. So that's to there, and that's to there. That gives us the nicest bit of nicest flowers that we can select. I'll square that up, make sure it's square. Same with this bit. Go up to your mark, make sure you're square. And cut it off. Right, so there we are. We've got our 2 journaling cards. And they're lovely, aren't they? They're really nice. Even nicer the right way up. So what I'm going to do with those is get some coffee stained 160 gram card, and I'm going to put them both onto. They don't fit, of course they don't fit. Why would they fit? Oh, they might. Oh, they do. That's good. Get a bit of kitchen towel so you can see what's coming here. You know what's happening, guys. I might put a bit of ribbon in the top. I'm just going to do one just now, and we'll see if we can get one side completely finished. I'm using glue stick for this, Pritt stick or whatever you use. I'm using Boss Stick glue stick, which I like. And for sticking paper to paper that you're actually going to sew around, it's perfectly fine. Ooh, didn't mean to put glue all over the kitchen towel. So right, let's pop this onto here. Pretty close to that edge if I can get it, because I'd like to get them both out of the one sheet of paper if I can. So press that down, cut it out. So for tomorrow's exciting live, I'm not sure. I think we're probably doing pockets, because we need to get some pockets and stuff in here. Being a newbie, I haven't filled my box up yet, but I'm sure it'll happen. What box? Oh, rubbish box. Oh, that happens. Yeah, that happens. Right, so I'm going to ink around here, put some stencil or something on the back, sew around it, and then I'm just going to see if I want to put a ribbon bow on it or not, or if I think that might be too much. Too much, you see? Yeah, too much. If you're going to ink around things, best to ink around them before you sew, because otherwise all you do is ink the thread and it doesn't look too good. There's no, you don't have to ink everything in a journal. Sometimes you'll think that something would look better not inked, so don't ink it. Oh, I want to do just a little bit of stencil on the back. It's a really handy little stencil, this, actually. I use it for lots of things. So there we go, that's that, and I'm going to sew around it and then we'll see where we are. Mr. Fix-It's left his station, so you're just going to have to put up with no picture of sewing, but I guess you know what it looks like by now.
Post.
Yeah, lefty post. So that's that one whipped round. These scissors are too big for cutting the ends off, but I don't know where the other ones are, so just have to do it later. Right, oh, flies. There we are. That should hopefully now fit. Look at that, beautifully into there. I want it just a little bit higher than there, so that's perfect. So what I need to know is, do I need to put a ribbon bow on that corner, which I often do on big journaling cards like that. The thing is, this is a very, very busy page. I mean, it's ridiculously busy, actually. You know, would it anchor it, or would it just add to the sort of total melee that we've got going on? I don't know, what do you think, guys? Ribbon bow or no ribbon bow? What's Jen up to?
People were asking if you kept all those little scraps.
Of whatever. These scraps of this world's book, no, I don't, because I just know that I'd never use them, and I've just got so many scraps that if I lived to be 3020, I'd still would not have run out of my scraps. I'm fairly diligent about fabric scraps and stuff like that. I do keep them because they come in for snippet rolls, etc. So what?
Mabel's joined us.
Ribbon bow, of course. Okay, Samantha. Of course. Right, so I'll put one on the other side as well. So what I do is square it up like that. Who's joined us?
Mabel.
Oh, hello, Mabel.
First time on live chat.
Yes, welcome along. Thank you for joining. So I'm going to come in there at the inch, and I'm going to come in here at the inch, make a mark, and then I'm going to get my fantastic crocodile out, Mr. Muncher, and just make a hole where I've made those marks. can, if you really want to, and you know you've got loads of money and stuff, you can put eyelets in each one. It's not worth it in a case like this, because once that ribbon bows on, it's not going anywhere. It hasn't got any anything pulling at it, so I wouldn't bother with the eyelets just for that. Right, let's have a look and see what colour. Oh, that would be quite nice. I quite like that. And I would go with that as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay, that's the decision made. This is this kind of cheap ribbon, really, that you get from Hobbycraft. I had a ribbon buying day because I needed it. I did. I honestly did need it. I know we all say that all the time. We don't really need these things. What am I talking about? Of course we do. Right, so cut a bit off there to go do your ribboning business. Stencil the back of that, that's fine. That's the other thing I would say. If you're going to stencil the back or mark the back, do it before you've done your sewing. It's much easier to get it flat when there's no stitches around. Where's my little pokey tool? Here. So this comes from the back in through. The end through is probably the easiest. Like that. Keep it straight. I don't know how much you need for a bow, so I'm probably using way too much. But it can go in my snippet box, so I'm not over, it's not wasted. Right, so try and get that bit on the back fairly flat, like so. Well, not quite like so. Try and get them so they're coming out. That's it. Okay, right, so this is the way I do it. I'm sure you all have your own ways for tying bows, but just so as it never comes out, I just put that in there like that, and then make my bow. And I'm left-handed, and I know I look ridiculous on YouTube when I try and do bows with my left hand, because it looks back to front for everybody. Oh, that's good. Everything's upside down. That's really upside down. I don't know how I manage that. I'm going to do it this way then, see if it works out better. There has to be a way of doing this, and if you know a way of doing this so as you end up on the right side, please do a little video and put it on the group. I'd love to know. I always end up wonky. That's not bad for me, actually. So pull it tight, then pull these down till you get where you want to be. Yeah, okay, I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse than that. Might still be a wee bit on the big side. Yeah, that's fine. I like that. That's good. So if you're worried about it coming undone, just tip it up like that and put some Fabri-Tac in there. I think this will be all right. So I'm just going to cut the ends off at an angle, save them fraying too much. Like so. There we go. Now if you want to, and I've done it earlier on in this book, I've just put a little bit of double-sided down, just stuck those ends in place. Because as I say, I'm really not good at getting them coming out where I want them to. So a little bit of double-sided works wonders. So I just literally cut off a tiny little bit like that, and I stick it on where I'd want this to be, which is about there. And I want that to look like that, like so. So that's not going anywhere ever. I don't think that one is actually of its own volition, so it'll be all right. Let's pop this back in a thingy. Centre spread, Jen. Somebody said about a tag whatever. It would have to go on the top there, and I don't really want to put it there, to be honest. You could, you certainly could. So there we go. I think we are about done. I think I've done all I can do. Well, I mean, I could do the other side, but I won't bore you with that. I'll finish that off myself. We've got a very, very busy page here. It's so much not like what I normally do, but it's not. I love these decoupaged cards. They're gorgeous. Mind you, I love that rose. And these are really nice as well. These massive big journaling cards with the ribbon corners. So I look forward to seeing what you do with this, where you're going to use it, how you get on with it. I'm curious to see if anybody sort of carries on with this and does something a little bit different. So there we are. We're done. I shall see you tomorrow. Well, I hope I'll see you tomorrow. It'd be nice to see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same everything, 2 o'clock UK time. And until then, happy journaling. Bye.
Bye.